Suicide rates are increasing at a tremendously disturbing rate. Um, it's like there's even a rapper out right now who has this song where he talks about the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. He like literally tells you the number to call. I overheard my daughter listening to that song, and I don't know what to think about it. I feel like she's only 12. And hearing about suicide, and as a parent, it's very difficult to explain to your kids exactly what suicide is. Because most kids don't even know what that is. But apparently, most kids are aware of suicide. Um, there's been a rise in teen suicide over the past 10 to 15 years. Um, and it's predominantly white teenagers literally taking themselves out. So my thought as a person or as a parent is, what stresses could they possibly be going through to decide they want to end their lives? What exactly is it? And it's predominantly white kids. My There was a newsletter that came out from my daughter's school last year. She was in the sixth grade, so first year in middle school, and there was a kid who played football. I think this kid was in the eighth grade, and the letter explained to parents how one of the kids at the school committed suicide the past week, and I was in shock. I had never discussed anything about suicide with my child, or I didn't even think that she was really aware of what suicide meant or even what it was. But yeah, this kid, apparently, the last football game of the season, I'm guessing he was the cause of the team not winning, or at least that's what the kids in school were saying. So he went through, I guess, some taunting behind losing the game, and went home that night, grabbed his father's shotgun, put it in his mouth, and pulled the trigger. So it was disturbing for me to have to go into that conversation, and to let my daughter know, there is nothing worth you taking your life for. you know but the thing about black people, we're survivors. We don't commit suicide and take our lives over every little thing. I mean, white people, they do this all the time. It's really not that uncommon, but I'm just surprised to see how common it is, or how common it's becoming for the teenagers. We're used to seeing on the news, guy loses his job, goes home, kills his entire family, then kills himself. Like, that's like everyday news, right? So, I mean, that's not shocking. But to see that their kids are now committing suicide at high rates, I find to be very disturbing. And, trying to figure out and understand what is going on. Why are they choosing to take this route? Okay, so I have an article from NBC News. Let me see if there's a date on here when it came out. Okay. It says March 2015, so it's a bit old. So even then, well, it's gone up, since that period of time. That was over 2 years ago. It's gone up. So, like I said, this has been going on for at least 10 to 15 years. And it really hit home for me when my daughter came home and told me about that kid. Hang on one second. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that interruption. That was my daughter. She doesn't know. Hang on one second. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so the article says more teens who are killing themselves are choosing suffocation and strangling, government researchers reported. Okay, so now that in itself is disturbing. Suffocation and strangling. Who the hell wants to suffocate themselves or well, you can't really strangle yourself unless you, is that hanging? Is that what that translates into? Because it's not really possible to strangle yourself. I have no idea. And more young women are committing suicide. It's a troubling trend, and it's not clear what's driving it. The team at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported, "The data doesn't allow us to determine why," said the CDC's Thomas Simon, a suicide expert who helped lead the study. Is it social media? No. Is it conventional media? I don't think that's what it is. Is it access to other methods? What other methods? What CDC is very worried about is giving troubled teens a how-to guide for how to commit suicide. But the agency also wants parents, teachers, friends, and others to be aware of the risks. When media report on certain suicide methods, often officials see a rise in suicide afterwards. Okay, so when media reports on certain suicide methods, so basically they're saying that whenever they talk about different ways that other people committed suicide, kids are watching it and going out and doing it. Okay. I don't understand that. I mean, when I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, we didn't have the internet, but we did have movies. And I was one of those kids, I may not have been allowed to watch certain movies, but, my parents weren't at home. There was a movie I wanted to see, I would watch it. And if I seen a suicide scene, that never sparked in my mind, oh, I'm going to kill myself whenever something bad happens. Like, I don't know. It's almost like it's like that number one no-no that you just don't do. And now that I think about it, that was probably something that was instilled in me as a very young child, growing up Christian. And, that's like the number one thing that you don't do. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not a Christian today. I'm an adult, so, I can think for myself. And that's a conversation that we'll have at another time. I'm not going to go into those details right now. But, that's like the number one thing that you just don't do. Okay, it's also worrying because suffocation is lethal. Unlike attempts at poisoning, most suffocation attempts do end up killing the victim. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among children and young adults. Oh my God, kids aged 10 to 24? In 2012, more than 5,000 teens and young adults died by suicide. Oh my goodness. Teen commits suicide after being bullied. Bullying. Don't get me wrong. I don't think bullying is right. I don't think it's fair, I was bullied as a child. I think everybody has a bullying story of themselves growing up. But I never thought about killing myself. That was like never one of the things that just came to my mind. So it's almost like modern day society is saying that, bullying is the main cause for a lot of the kids committing suicide. I'm sorry, but I just don't see it because, I was bullied. My husband was bullied. Almost everybody has a bullying story growing up. And none of us ever thought to kill ourselves. So there's definitely something else going on. Suicide rates overall went down among young men and boys from 1994 to 2007. But then headed back up again, the team found. Suicide rates for girls and women also rose for 2007. Among persons aged 10 to 24 years, suicide rates are higher in males than in females. Suicide rates by suffocation, including hanging. I knew hanging had to be the strangling thing because you can't just strangle yourself, so I knew it had to be hanging. Have been increasing among females in this age group since the early 1990s, they wrote. Yes, I knew that's what it was. Let's see. Okay, the findings make it more important than ever for people to be aware of the warning signs of suicide. Okay, so these are the warning signs for suicide. Let's see what they feel like they should be looking for. Let's see, they include talking about wanting to die, talking about feeling trapped, talking about feeling unbearable pain or feeling like a burden to others, acting anxious or agitated, behaving recklessly, becoming socially isolated. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. I agree with that list. Can't say that I don't. But at the same time, I mean, you know, living this life as a black person, I don't know too many people who feel like they want to die, but definitely feeling trapped, feeling like a burden to others, or feeling anxious or agitated, definitely agitated. A lot of black people behave recklessly. I'm not so sure about the socially isolated, but I'm still not understanding why people are, these kids, if anything, are committing suicide. But yeah. Yep, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot more going on in the white community. So I really don't understand why the media chooses to focus on black crime when, if we only make up 13% of the population, why are we the main target and the main focus when it comes to the news and media? Not saying that I agree that we're 13%. We're well over 13%. They've been projecting the fact that we're 13% since the 1960s. Actually, even before then. Even like during the times of slavery, they still said that we were 13%. So we've been 13% forever, according to white people. So we all know that that's actually not true. But yeah. So share your thoughts about suicide among teenagers and kids. I don't know. I really don't understand it. But like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. If you have any tips on any other topics you would like for me to go into some detail and kind of break down, just leave it in the comment section. Thanks.